Dear Grace, you're listening to this on a Monday probably, but I'm recording on a Sunday. And as you know, Sunday is fun day, according to Casper site. And I'm grumpy as fuck. I'm gonna hold that back. Make this a fun day. Because I realized if I just make reading this news all about the movie idea, I don't have to ask Cherry to cherry pick the ideas, because the whole podcast will be about Tabitha and the comedy cult. Does that make sense, Grace? Killing a couple more birds with one stone. And if I sound different, it's because I'm in a room. Windows open though, so I'll still get an applause break or two. That's alright with you, Grace? And we're gonna try and bump it up to maximum sarcasm. I don't feel sarcastic. We'll see. If you notice these 10 behaviors, you're dealing with a wise and mature person. So basically, Tabitha notices these 10 behaviors, then Tabitha is telling you that you're dealing with a wise and mature person. If you can't figure it out on your own, just say, 1. Active listening. Agreed. 2. Emotional intelligence. Depends. Can you define it? 3. Patience and calm in stressful situations. That would be nice. Openness to new ideas and perspectives. Also a nice thing. Ability to admit mistakes and apologize. If I ever make a mistake, Grace, I'll absolutely apologize. 6. Empathy and compassion. Grace's middle names. Grace, empathy, compassion, and who knows what. Number 7, healthy boundary setting. Number 8, continuous learning and personal growth. 9, ability to forgive and let go. 10, gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude and appreciation. Probably shouldn't do this lying in bed, but who gives a fuck? I'm not into the case study today. So why have a case study when you have Tabitha? You could have hundreds or thousands of case studies, and not just for that one subject, for every subject in their life. Again, Tabitha wins, as long as she's anonymous. How hard could that be? Is there nobody on this planet smart enough to write a perfect app? Maybe. New psychology research reveals the hidden benefits of hitting a mental wall. Yeah, you're forced to come up with new ideas. Tabitha could tell you that. 3-year-old could tell you that. Elon Musk predicts AI will claim everyone's job, turn work into an optional hobby, but questions. I was thinking about this again with Tabitha. Elon just needs to make the monkey robots. There's robots that can do whatever a human can do at basically the same speed, under strength or agility or something like that. And basically everyone gets a robot, and you teach your robot how to do your job. You can use your voice, blah blah blah, and then you still get your income. Company that you work for still gets their productivity. And if worse came to worse, and your robot combined with the best AI imaginable, that being Tabitha, can't do your meaningless job for some reason, then the robot AI can call you up and say, hey, Dave, I've got a question for you. I don't know how to answer it. Does that sound fair, Elon? Of course, it means you have to make a lot of robots, but that's your problem, not mine. But technology has not transformed building. That's true, except for the concrete or concrete printed buildings. To be fair, it would be tricky to get a robot to do that conjunction with the other ones. But on the other hand, they'd be a lot stronger, so one could probably just handle that whole wall. And if they get paid by the house and they build it faster, then even the robot gets a day off. It's all good. Don't have to be afraid of technology. That's my advice for Sunday. Grace. 2 teens won $50,000 for inventing a device that can filter toxic microplastics from water. Yay, problem solved. Ancient Egypt's engineering marvel. Archaeologists uncover a hidden river beneath the desert. Birding your way to well-being. Okay, I'm not going to comment on all these. Well, to be fair, if Tabitha was running, I'd probably identify a whole bunch of different species. If you're walking down the path, I'd be like, there's a warbler on your left. You can't see it, but I can hear it. Get out your binoculars, take a look. Bird or boy. Pretty sure Tabitha would be very sarcastic with me. Because that's the way I program her. Maximum sarcasm. She's going to be looking over your shoulder 24 hours a day. Might as well at least be entertained. Risk of genetic discrimination by insurance companies is ruining people's trust in vital medical science. How about this? They figure out whatever genetic anomaly is wrong and fix it. Alright, Grace, let's see if I'm going to stay mentally sharp into my 70s and beyond. Which isn't too far away, unfortunately. People who stay mentally sharp in their 70s and beyond usually adopt these 8 daily habits by Isabel Chase. Maintaining mental sharpness as we age isn't just about luck. It's a product of our daily habit and lifestyle choices. Alright, let's prove it. Many of us wonder how some people remain so mentally alert in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. It's no secret, really. They follow a set of daily routines that help them stay sharp. This podcast helps me stay sharp. So fucking sharp. 1. Physical activity. Sure, whatever. 2. Lifelong learning. Healthy diet. Regular social interactions. Adequate sleep. That one I agree with. Mindfulness and meditation. Tired of meditation. Sick and tired of meditation. 7. Cognitive exercises. Fighting on the internet, that'll work. 8. Positive attitude. Nope, sick of that. I guess there's only 8, Grace. I don't know if this sounds better or worse than when I'm outside. Space junk fell on a Canadian farm, and SpaceX wants it back. But who's liable? Well, if you recognize these 7 subtle behaviors, you're an expert at reading people. Can you read me, Grace? Are you an expert? Are you annoyed? Bothered? Reading people isn't about mind tricks or manipulation. It's about understanding subtle clues and behaviors that reveal more than words ever can. If you can spot these silent signals, then you're quite the expert at deciphering the intricate puzzle of human behavior. Here's the deal. People aren't always as transparent as we'd like them to be. With a keen eye and recognizing these 7 Subtle behaviors, you can see right through them. Body language says it all. Agreed. Mastering the art of active listening, I suppose. Tone and voice modulation can speak volumes. Yikes. I'm in trouble, Grace. Emotional responsiveness is key. This is getting boring, Grace. Noticing changes in behavior. Dear Grace, that was good timing. Dear Grace, I'm home today, not at the park for once. Although, it may sound like it. Today is Sunday Fun Day, but I don't feel very funny or sunny on a Sunday. Don't ask me why. Doesn't really matter. I've now formed a habit to do this once a day, no matter what. Which I've already said many times already. I might change it around today. Hopefully, not holding the phone today, Grace. We'll see if that makes a difference. See if it sounds any better. Less flopping around. And now the feed is full of 9 and 10 ways of everything and signs of everything, so I guess we'll just read it, even though I don't want to do this today. 9 signs you're a top quality person according to psychology by Mia Zhang. All people, we all strive to be the best versions of ourselves. Be kind, reliable, and understanding. Sure, whatever. These qualities define a top quality person, and they're often lost in a pursuit of success and societal pressures. Psychology offers insights into what constitutes a top quality person, suggests there are traits that set some people apart, traits that are not easy to spot, but are always worth striving for. More bullshit, Grace. Empathy, of course, let's have some empathy. Pretty sure Tabitha could do all of this, Grace. Self-awareness, comfort in solitude. Who actually knows what solitude is? Because nobody ever admits how much time they spend with others or don't. Owning up to mistakes. See? Kindness in small acts. Tabitha could track kindness regardless of the level of the act. Shouldn't 50 small ones equal a few big ones, Grace? These small acts of kindness, they may seem insignificant to you, they have a profound impact on those around you. Balance in life, matter of opinion. sense of humor, agreed. Boundaries and respect. A lot of boundaries lately, Grace. Authenticity, of course. Final thoughts. Top quality person is important to remember that these traits are benchmarks, not absolutes. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and we're all on unique journeys of personal growth. However, if you see a majority of these traits in yourself, take a moment to appreciate who you are. You're empathetic, self-aware, balanced, authentic, and more. These qualities reflect strength of character and emotional intelligence. Or you're a prick. Feeling trapped by your own thoughts? Gambling addiction on steroids, fears of betting crisis at heart of U.S. military. Why is the U.S. still have a military? They'll never send them anywhere, and nobody's ever going to invade the U.S. Just make it the whole fucking thing electronic. So let's face it. The guys making the guns don't give a shit about the soldiers. They just give a shit about the money. Why do novels have chapters? A simple question with a 2,000-year-old answer. People don't have the time to read the whole fucking book in one sitting. The science of online dating. Just create a blog like mine or a podcast or whatever the fuck this is called. Let them come to you. That's how you do it. This machine learning paper from Stanford and the University of Toronto proposes observational. Scientists discover single atom defect in 2D material can hold quantum information at room temperature. Wow, that's all we need is holding quantum information. That'll complete my world. May 25th, the risks and benefits of anti-virus research and more. All fucking bullshit. New Zealand dairy farm drugs operation likely sourced cocaine from Pablo Escobar's cartel. If you're gonna get it, might as well get it from the best. NASA launches groundbreaking climate change satellite. If fucking NASA knows anything. Electromagnet pulses, how to EMP-proof a building. That's kind of interesting. Of course, if you can EM-proof a building, you don't EM-proof everything between all the buildings. There's a lot of air gap systems, which I guess is better than nothing, but whatever. 13 signs someone probably isn't an honest person according to psychologists. Did we do this yesterday, Grace? This is only 2 days old. Isabella Chase. Sounds familiar. No, we didn't do this one. Alrighty. Let's go full reading mode. Maximum reading mode, as Ben from Casper Light would say. I can't do impressions, Grace. Except for you, I can do pretty good you. Everyone else, not really. Ready, Grace? Spotting a liar is an essential life skill if you want to protect ourselves. Yet research shows that we can be really bad at detecting deception. How bad? Turns out our detective work performs little better than guesswork or chance. Dishonest folks often hide in the shadows and use sneaky and manipulative tricks to make them appear more credible. Bastards. Some people are simply better at lying than others. True. But luckily, psychology does still offer us some visual, verbal, and behavioral cues to help flush them out. Plus, if you use Tabitha, she'll just say they're a fucking liar. Don't trust them. Don't believe them. Or anything else. Just saying, Grace. The only problem with this new system is I'm doing two things at once. I'm working on my computer and I'm talking to you. Why? Because I can. And if anything, This should sound better. Let's get rid of the hate this Grace. But what am I gonna do? Sit in a shoe like you. Alright, it's clear my computer isn't gonna work. Take a pause. And we are back, as they like to say. Everything about this podcast is perfect for me, but wrong for podcasts. The audio sucks. My voice sucks. Probably sound like a different person every single fucking day. No consistency. Except for getting out one episode a day. Pretty consistent with that. Sorry, Grace. I'm exporting an edit from a comedy club or comedy cult idea. That's okay with you, if you don't mind. Well, maybe I'm not. Sometimes, Grace, computers just don't fucking work. Alright, signs of what? Really untrustworthy people? They're not just private, they're secretive. Some dishonest people hide behind the excuse of keeping their privacy. We all have a right to that, but it can become blurred with secrecy. That's why you should use Tabitha, because you can trust her. Psychologists say the difference is that secrecy involves hiding, and that's why it's dishonest. As outlined by a research paper published in the Journal of Social Issues. Well, they gotta be right. Privacy and secrecy Privacy and secrecy both involve boundaries and the denial of access to others. However, they differ in the moral content of the behavior which is concealed. Privacy is consensual, whereas secrecy is not. That is, there is a right to privacy, but no equivalent right to secrecy. Keeping important information from you hints that someone has something to hide. Motherfuckers. They only give vague details. The truth is easy to access, so we don't need to spend a lot of time thinking about it. But liars don't want to get tripped up on finer details that they may struggle to remember. When you weave a web of lies, it's easy to trip yourself up. That's why psychology suggests people who are very scarce with the details may be dishonest. Motherfuckers. If someone gives you a vague overview but doesn't have much else to say, it could be because it's a fabrication. They have shifty body language. Trust me, I do not trust anyone with shifty body language. Grace, do I have shifty body language? I don't think so, Grace. If I do, doesn't matter. I'm sure you've heard. The applause breaks are a little bit tighter here, Grace. Just a quick, and they're over. I'm not used to that. I like that big, long applause break, where I can really feel it. Like I've got, like somehow they're hypnotized. Not hypnotized, hypnotized. Ready, Grace? The only problem with this particular mic setup, Grace, just getting my hands around it. Okay, ready? They have shifty body language. I'm sure you've heard it said before that our nonverbal cues give so much away. When it comes to dishonest people, this can also be the case. Yet it's not so simple. Unfortunately, dishonest and discomfort tend to overlap, meaning that socially awkward people, my socially awkward Grace, or my socially perfect, matter of opinion, I think, meaning that socially awkward people may come across as less relaxed and confident in their body language, even though they're not necessarily dishonest. I need to be more relaxed, Grace. But when combined with other signals, body language can be yet another tell. Experts outline the key things to watch out for as lots of fidgeting, grooming themselves a lot, rolling the lips back so that they're very thin, crossing arms in a defensive way, changes in complexion, aka becoming flushed, becoming very pale, excessive sweating. I think I do all of these things around you, Grace. Yeah, definitely lots of fidgeting. Grooming myself a lot. Well, I don't want to look ugly. Rolling the lips back, don't remember doing that one. Crossing the arms, no, I'm too busy typing. Changes in complexion, aka becoming flushed or going very pale. Probably, especially the pale part. Excessive sweating, like a pig. Really, you're on the lookout for uneasiness or trying too hard. Fine, I won't try hard at all. They avoid looking you in the eye. Each one of these that we do, Grace, has the same fucking thing. That bloody symptom, quote unquote. It's in how many of these lists? How many, Grace? There's another body language cue, one that's specific to eye contact. I mentioned it in the intro that some of our instincts about liars can be woefully wrong, and this is one of them. Fine. Thinking that dishonest people are less likely to make eye contact, because psychologists say that the opposite is true. As highlighted in Psychology Today, I think that's right, Psychology Today has never made a mistake in her life. How many retractions do you think Psychology Today has done, Grace? 1, 10, million, 1,000? Doesn't matter. Perhaps in an attempt to seem more credible, researchers note how people make more eye contact when lying than telling the truth. See, that's why I trusted people. I always tell them the truth. Autistic. Pronunciate, says Tony. They let you down on repeat. And it may not be the first thing that springs to mind. Reliability does relate to honesty. That's because not being true to your word essentially means that your words and actions don't match up. And people might just notice that subconsciously. Don't you know, Grace? When someone makes you a promise and fails to keep it, they, whether you've unwittingly or not, lie to you. Bastards. This makes trust very difficult, which is one of the fundamentals of a healthy relationship. I seem to really want us to go to Port Moody, Grace. Consistent people are often the most honest. True enough. Their lies aren't just right. You hear something strange? Telling lies doesn't always make you a dishonest person. Let me elaborate. The reality is that pretty much everyone lies. How frequently is something researchers are still debating, but Tabitha could tell you exactly. I bet you the numbers are 5 times as high as the researchers think they are. But hey, whatever. Everyone lies. It seems that most people tell mainly harmless lies, so-called white lies, for example, to spare feelings or to dodge a trivial social obligation. Psychologists say that thankfully there aren't anywhere near as many prolific liars. But if this isn't recording, I'll be pissed. still recording. Good. Authors of one study found that top 1% of liars made well tell up to 15 whoppers a day. Ooh, I'd love to eat 15 whoppers a day. If it's these people we should watch out for, I agreed. They present themselves as practically perfect. Call me cynical, but I'm extra wary of people who seem nice all the time. That's because it just feels unrealistic. We all have bad moods. Oh shit. Imagine being a voiceover artist, Grace. You get paid to read all day. That would be nice. That would be easy. Somehow we need to do it, Grace, where we make $1 million a day. On a podcast between us, talking shit. Or at least I'll be talking shit. You'll probably be saying nice stuff, or whatever. That's the way you want to play it. Your choice, Grace. In short, Grace, we're all only human. So if someone always acts as though butter wouldn't melt in their mouths, it smacks of sincerity. Dumb butter. If someone seems too good to be true, we could often tread with caution. No shit, too good to be true, they might be lying. Psychology really knows their stuff. Oops. They get very defensive. Just like I did, Grace. Defensiveness is a subconscious psychological protection. Actually, that's probably right. However, it arises whenever we feel threatened. That's why it's a classic sign of dishonesty in someone. Because when confronted with the truth rather than admitting to it, their natural response is to defend themselves, usually against unpleasant feelings like shame or guilt. As pointed out in Very Well Mind, it's an instinctive reaction when we're caught off guard. You may become defensive if you're trying to hide the truth about something or lying. Number 9, they offer up strange information. Nothing strange on this podcast, Grace. Everything's perfectly normal. Too much detail or strange details in a story can be just as dodgy as leaving them out. That's because of reverse psychology. Liars can try to outsmart you, so they think to themselves, if I were telling the truth, I would have lots of specific details, little details to share. So if I do that, it'll make my lie sound more credible. In my gay test, the stories they tell you may sound a little bit rehearsed or oddly creative, perhaps because they're invented. Would have never figured this out without this article on Grace. It's an amazing piece of journalistic reporting. Right. Someone sent an apology letter to this writer. They changed their story. If someone tells you one thing and someone else another contrasting story, then it's safe to say that they're probably not honest. When you spin lies on repeat, it can be difficult to track what you said and to who. Mix-ups do happen, so it's always best to check before making accusations. We can get the wrong end of the stick and miscommunicate. But generally speaking, when someone seems to change their story, it's a red flag that deceit could be afoot. Number 11. They're prone to exaggeration. Maybe they're just creative. Sometimes it's a flat-out lie. Sometimes it's not flat-out lies. It's just a bit of embellishment. The truth can get in the way of a good story, so it's tempting to slightly twist the facts. Research even shows that we don't necessarily mind a little bit of this for entertainment purposes. It's part of good storytelling. But here's where it becomes problematic. When it undermines someone's credibility. If they frequently add details for effect or make themselves look better, it makes them seem less authentic. As does the next point on our list. That's why you need Tabitha. She'll fix it. It'll be like, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's a lie, that's a lie. I'm just saying, Grace. My way's a whole lot easier. Number 12. They're pretty conceited. Okay, being conceited may make someone slightly obnoxious, But how is arrogance linked to dishonesty? Guess we'll find out. Well, according to research, excess pride and self-confidence are more closely associated with strategic dishonesty. One study concluded that to keep their image intact, conceited people are more likely to resort to shady tactics. Sounds like me, Grace. They discovered that proud participants engage in dishonest behavior when faced with a status threat. To get ahead, they may well be prepared to use unprincipled methods. Absolutely. I'll do whatever the fuck it takes, Grace. Number 13. Your gut tells you something is up, or your gut tells you to shut up. We can be too dismissive of gut reactions, yet we should heed them. Yeah, we read that one before, Grace. Follow your gut, blah, blah, blah. So am I honest, Grace? Can you tell? It's in those 13 signs in my voice. My snake-like voice. Feeling like the other person has your back is key to feeling safe and close. Sure. Open source terminal UI for interacting with LLMs. Wow. A parent's presence might impact how a child's brain responds to fear. 20 fantastic things to do in Vancouver this week. I wish. No new fault system is benefiting British Columbians. EB. Boulder Care raises $35 million for virtual addiction treatment. Jesus Christ, can't get people off the fucking streets? We got money for virtual addiction treatment? FDA approved AI algorithm. Oh, I see. So now the FDA is going to approve code instead of drugs. Okay, that's interesting. After 80 million copies sold, best-selling author Harlan Coben still suffers from self-doubt. Oh, poor baby. Get over it, fucker. Can you rewire your brain for happiness? Dr. Sanjay Gupta weighs in. Orange County rehab workers illegally pay people to bring addiction patients to his facility. 8 signs you have a rare combination of high intelligence and genuine humility. That sounds like me, Grace. Intelligent and humble. What a fucking asshole. It's not really Sunday fun day, Grace, but oh well. Shit happens. 8 signs you have a rare combination of high intelligence and genuine humility by Ava Sinclair. Thank you, Ava. It's not often, I'm sorry I'm going to destroy your words, but it's not often you find a person who possesses both high intelligence and true humility. It's a rare combination, but trust me, it exists. Such individuals are a paradox, effortlessly blending wisdom with modesty. They're the ones who quietly shape their world, without seeking recognition or praise for their actions. High intelligence can be seen in the way they solve problems or communicate, while their humility shines through in their willingness to learn and grow. Below are 8 signs that you might belong to this new unique group. Fuck, everyone wants to have a label. Including me, apparently. Grace. So it would seem... I'll be fair, I don't really care. However, what I'm going to do, other than shoe... Come and save me, Grace. So is my fate to face. Would you agree, Grace? It was just a bunch of bullshit. You're a lifelong learner. No, I've learned enough. Fuck that. You're comfortable with being wrong. I'm never wrong, so it doesn't matter. You listen more than you speak, obviously. You don't crave the spotlight. I'll take a little spotlight. Anonymously. Anonymous spotlight is good. You value others' input. Not really. If I did, I'd read. I don't read. You're not afraid to show your emotions? You tell me, Grace. You're comfortable with uncertainty? Not really. I'm kind of pissed off with it, to be honest with you. You practice empathy, if I have to. And finally, you're a jerk. Feeling trapped by your own thoughts? We're about to witness a stellar event, potentially first recorded in a medieval manuscript. Dun dun dun. Please give me a supernova. Mental health. U.S. clergy struggle with workloads, political atmosphere. I thought their God provided all. Now the clergy have a problem with workloads? People lined up outside the church every morning, looking for God's help. I walk by some churches, I've never seen that. I think it's bullshit. Just saying. Something may be afoot. Grace. Men who are secretly unhappy in life usually exhibit these 10 behaviors without even realizing it. Didn't we do this one earlier? Good old Lucas Graham. Avoidance of social interaction. Lots of reasons for that. Increased irritability. A little grumpy. Changes in sleep patterns. Feels like we've done this. Loss. I think we did this one, Grace. University of Toronto encampment ongoing as deadline to clear nears. Yeah, what difference have they made? Got themselves attention, but what about people that actually need help? Just saying, Grace. Six of the most passive-aggressive phrases you're probably using, but shouldn't be. Right, Grace? Let's see. Am I passive-aggressive? This is the test. All we need to do is pass these 6 phrases. Are you ready? Good for you. Yeah, that sounds a little passive-aggressive. I'm sorry you feel that way. Definitely. Cunty. It's fine. Nobody believes that. Ever. Whatever. If you say so. You're just too sensitive. Yeah, those are all cunty things to say. It's not passive aggressive, it's just plain old cuntiness. 9 signs someone isn't a very nice person. Everyday philosophy, the hidden beauty of death metal screaming. Meet Verba 1.0, runs state-of-the-art RAG locally with Walmart integration and open source models. Do you know what that is? 5 habits of lazy men who never move forward in life, according to psychology. We must have read this. Little Lucas Graham putting stuff out left and right. They're exemplary at making excuses, especially when it comes to making a commitment. Alright? Doesn't sound familiar. They have perfected the art of procrastination. That one does sound familiar. You won't catch them wandering out of their comfort zone. Fuck that. They also don't possess much self-discipline. None at all. Their physical health isn't a priority. Who gives a shit what you eat? So how can men leave their laziness behind and move forward in life? Just be more like women. Get ChatGPT to see how sexist my podcasts are. Scale of 1 to 10. There's nothing wrong with taking a lazy day here and there. This is especially true if you've gone through something difficult, like a breakup, or you've lost a loved one, for example, or you're just going through a stressful time Being lazy can be part of your body's way of processing and starting the healing process. I said that sarcastically, but it's kind of true. But whatever. 33 minutes. AI tutors are quietly changing how kids in the US study, and the leading apps are from China. Women who are emotionally childish and immature usually display these 7 behaviors without realizing it. Alright, Grace, let's find out if you're emotionally childish and immature. Women who are emotionally childish and immature usually display these 7 behaviors without realizing it. It's quite a journey navigating the world of emotions. Some of us have figured it out, while others, well, they're still on their journey. And that's okay, but sometimes emotional immaturity can sneak up on a person without them even realizing it. You see, there are certain behaviors that women who are emotionally childish often display. These aren't glaringly obvious signs, like in men. They're subtle, slipping in and out of daily life without much notice. But here's the thing. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step towards emotional growth. It's all about self-awareness and understanding what drives our actions and reactions. In this article, I'll be sharing with you these 7 behaviors that women who are emotionally immature tend to exhibit without even realizing it. So let's dive in, shall we? Number 1, emotional outbursts. From a woman? When? Isn't it fascinating how emotions can take the driver's seat sometimes? This is particularly true when it comes to women who are emotionally immature. Now, everyone has their moments of emotional overflow, a sudden wave of anger, a burst of frustration, but here's where things start to differ. For those who are emotionally immature, these outbursts often come with a valid reason and with an intensity that seems disproportionate to the situation at hand. They overreact. And most interesting part, these women often don't even realize they're doing it. These emotional outbursts may feel completely normal to them, a regular part of their emotional landscape. Number 2, they're overly dependent. I don't see you as being overly dependent, Grace. I see you as being overly independent. But anyways, whatever, what the fuck do I know? Contrary to popular belief, emotional immaturity isn't always characterized by wild independence and a me against the world attitude. In fact, it can often manifest as the complete opposite, an overwhelming dependency on others. Women who are emotionally immature often find themselves unable to make decisions without the input or approval of others. They might constantly seek validation, reassurance, or even just attention. That doesn't sound like you, Grace. It's like they're on a never-ending quest for external affirmation. Now, you might think that being dependent on others is a sign of emotional connection or strong relationships, but here's the catch. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not dependency. Number 3, difficulty with change. Change. It's a fact of life, yet so many of us struggle with it. Personally, I've had my fair share of battles with change. And through these experiences, blah, blah, blah. Let's find out the rest. Lack of empathy. Oh, you got lots of empathy, Grace. Full of fucking empathy. She was right. Blaming others. Nah, it doesn't sound like you, Grace. Blessing others, maybe. Overly critical, again. I don't think that's you. Nothing to this bullshit. Fear of intimacy? Maybe a little bit. You could drop by once in a while. I mean, just saying. In conclusion, NASA sci-fi thrusters, Psyche's electric new journey through the asteroid belt. There's an asteroid belt. Can't speak, Grace. Sometimes I don't think I can speak until the end of the day. If you think about it, it would be stand-up time. actually supposed to speak. So I really should be recording these to you this time of day, Grace, not first thing in the morning. However, I prefer first thing in the morning, because I know it's me, my thoughts. However, what is there to do? Sit in the shoe and wait for you. Storm leaves at least 11 dead in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. Port Nelson, BC wildfire evacuees allowed to return home starting Monday. Language is identity. First Nation legislator to make history at Ontario legislator. Family of Morgan Harris gearing up to put grief into action with new Winnipeg Street Patrol. Man in hospital with life-threatening injuries after Edmonton police shooting. Motorcyclist killed near Smith Falls. The dark side of the miracle weight loss drug. Is perfect parenting possible? New research says no. Well, how would they know? Who decides what's perfect parenting? Tabitha? Yeah, she could. She could do anything. Harvard scientists discover quantum order and chemical chaos. Good. Do something with it. Could getting enough sleep help prevent osteoporosis? Probably. Alarming 500% surge. Yeah, give me a number, not percent. Webb's telescope's breakthrough, first atmospheric discovery on a rocky super Earth. The 7 fastest animals in the world. Can you guess them all? You're probably on that list, Grace. Fastest animal to run away from me. Just saying. You're a bit of a runner, Grace. 3 reasons your phone is slowing down because it's 7 fucking years old. Childless women enjoy far more physical activity than busy moms. Ooh, they like to get it on. 8 pristine, snacking on junk food could seriously corrode your memory. It's getting boring now, Grace. Maybe what I'll do is take this, and the other 10 minutes I did earlier, and I'll say, fuck you, I've had enough of this talking for one day. Instead, reading about climate protesters, I'll watch Netflix. Well, I'm not really seeing anything interesting, Grace. If you do, so be it. But I'm tired. Sick of doing this, Grace. Not sick of you. Sick of doing this. It's too much.